Good morning, you tune to the League Up, your weekly thoroughbred preview show, best hour of trackside television, presented by the TAB. Joined in the studio, as always, by Paul Maoate and Stephen Hunt. Good morning, Paul. How's the week been?
Morning, Thad. Very, very busy.
I think we got some news during the week, the League Up team as well.
Yeah, did we?
Apparently so. We're ploughing on.
Oh, no, that can't be right.
Much to the chagrin of the viewing audience.
My trainer's very keen for me to have a spell.
I think June's going to be taken up by the League Up as well. They just couldn't let us go, Paulie.
Jeez. What's going, Steve? Come on.
I've got nothing
Help
to
us
do.
out here.
Yeah, no, I know the decision's been made by the high ups. You'll be seeing us in June as well on the League Up. Morning, Steve. How are you?
Thaddeus, very well, yep.
How was your last Saturday? You were at Trentham, weren't you?
Yeah, really good meeting, strong fields, which was shown on paper prior to the meeting and eventuated that way. The feature, the Rangatiki Cup, taken out by Francie. It's been a little bit of a bridesmaid, different campaign, which stretched all the way back to early November. So a great training feat to keep her up to the mark come May in a listed event and stretched out to the mile. So that bodes well for her future. I think I read somewhere during the week she's getting turned out, but a deserving victory and a more valuable victory being a mere Francie. So well done for the connections there. Overall, it was a bunch finish in the first 4 or 5 home, which often can be a red flag, but the speed rating was healthy enough, and I reckon it's a race worth following. The likes of Knight's Realm, Canchi from the back, even though the race set up perfectly for her. Bradman just needs to find the right race, heavy track, similar weight condition. And he is back, maybe back to Christchurch, would be more than competitive in the right conditions and track, whatnot. So, look, even though, as I say, bunch finish, I reckon it's a race worth following. And Spencer, probably the highlight of the day.
Yeah.
He resumed off a lengthy break, had to lump the 58 kilograms and got the job done. And look, I just want to give out a little shout out to my colleague in Swains who identified the horse. No, just hear me out. It's tough this time of the year to identify horses that are ready first up with the hairy coats and whatnot. But he identified the horse leading up to the race, what he saw in his own eyes in the front parade ring, and let the punters know. And the market responded. He was quite firm late, Spencer, and it's a hard form reference to gauge or intel to use. It's not easy to gauge whether horses are ready or not, and Sweens is pretty good at that. Jane's an expert, which is she's gained through that experience over in Australia, but it's not easy. But he gave a good push for the horse, and the horse rewarded punters that listened in. And look, he's a horse that's going to probably work back from the Open Eki Cup, and if he's got a similar weight, he's going to be awfully hard to beat over the 7 furlongs.
Okay, Paul Maoate found Spencer as well from memory. Let's go ahead and say good morning to BP. I'm not sure about participants of the form getting shout-outs on the League Up, BP. I don't know what to start something here, do we?
Well, would we see the same coming back from team form? We shall see. But yes, nicely done there, Sweens. And I guess the last time I was watching the form, they were certainly giving it to Stephen. And they weren't giving him a bouquet, that's for sure, with his no bets. But anyway, what we saw at Ellerslie last weekend was a very good performance in the Champagne Stakes by Do You Just. Great ride from Warren Kennedy. Was very keen to get to the top, control the race, and really open them up and open up the biggest danger, which was off the bridle at the 600 metre mark, and that being Towering Vision. So a runner that was specced in the market. There was a fair bit of confidence that the horse could do that over 1,600 metres going right-handed, and prevailed. And really, you'd have to say those first 2 horses are 3-year-olds to watch for the next season. Of course, late season 2-year-olds, so 3-year-olds for next season with what we've seen there in their performance last weekend out of Ellerslie. Looking forward to getting back to Ellerslie again this weekend, and then even back through the early part of June. So still a couple of meetings to come out of headquarters.
Yeah, we're there on Sunday, aren't we, BP? I think Do You Just was my bet of the weekend, last weekend from memory.
Oh, jeez.
No, it wasn't. That was my Foreplay bet. Bet of the weekend, ran down the track. Again, I'm sure the best bet recap will expose my lies. But before we get back to BP from Maiden of the Week, Paul, Sunday sweet time. We had success with one of BP's horses, Astoria Brook, last Sunday.
Yeah, we certainly did.
What's the sweep this week?
There was a couple of meetings on this Sunday, Ellerslie and the Awapuni Synthetic. We're going to go to Ellerslie, race 7, number 1, Schmooze. The code is TLUFIZ, TLUFIZZ. Enter the code and then place a fixed odds win bet through your TAB account on number 1, Schmooze. And if he finishes 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, or 6th,
Oh, okay, nice.
get your money back up to $20 as bonus cash. First 200 customers, 1 bet per account. Usual T's and C's, Thad. But back to 6, that's not the worst.
Yeah, it was a good run last time, and I think we might have a bit of a reference around Schmooze with your maiden of the week, BP. What's did you find for us this week?
Gee, segue heaven there from you, Thad Taylor, and yes, you are right. Let's move to the maiden of the week, which includes Schmooze when beaten in behind. Fantastic Smile in the first race at Ellerslie. Fantastic Smile had a letter of the alphabet in its name. It's got a lot of letters in the alphabet in its name, but in the form line, it had a lost rider when it went to the one and only start to the races. So it's had 3 trials, 3 wins, got the job done here in really good fashion. I think we can follow a couple out of the race. Those that are looking at the Sunday Suite are hoping they can follow the Roger James horse that's hitting the line there. But I think you can also follow the second horse with a little bit of confidence in Atkins. That was Paul Maoate's best bet when it went round first time to the races, when finishing into 6th position, hits the line well there into 2nd spot. It's definitely worth a follow, but the winner was very good. And yeah, I think a race well worth following, the first from Ellerslie.
Yeah, 100%. Atkins was very good as well. I know that was Paul's bet of the week a couple of weeks ago, so getting close to winners Atkins, but Fantastic Smile, a very good return for that individual last Saturday. Now, Te Rapa and New Plymouth. We're going to go to Te Rapa first, Steve. I wonder if we've got any drone shots.
Yes.
Of course, there they are. Talk about weather and track for us.
We go back, I think it was the 3rd of May was the last meeting at Te Rapa, Thaddeus. The rail was out 6 metres that day. It's just gone out a touch, 8.5. But if you want to go back to that particular meeting, I think the track will play similar pentrometer readings. I think it was a 6 a few weeks ago. It's currently a soft 6. Currently with little rain forecasted between now and the back end of Saturday. That day at Te Rapa, 0 leaders won, and winners were mostly 1-2 off in the run and tended to get further away from the 400 metre point, with lanes 6+ being most advantageous. So, yeah, I think if you're trying to find the middle part of the home straight, that'll be beneficial for your chances.
Okay, looks like the track's going to be pretty good. Let's go to race number 6 first on the card. It's the Open Mile, the KPMG Mile. Steve, and run us through this market.
Headed by Wits End, $3.30. Look, was originally second fave when betting commenced on Wednesday. The opening fave was Udurzo and Harlot, $4.50 each of 2. Both have gone out since then. $5 Udurzo, now a couple of turns as Harlot, $4.50 out to $5.50. Lamas Quida at $7. Channel Surfer drawn the ace at $8. No Rain Ever making its trip from the CD at $9. Double figures around Mr. Requette. Radera at 14s. And Afina at 15. So, look, the market suggesting there's not too many out of this race, Taylor. It's very compressed. But Wits End heads the market, and there's your genuine firm at $3.30.
Okay, there's a few races we need to have a look at to get our head around this, BP. I want to go back to this mile open handicap race at Te Rapa back at the start of May, where we see Udurzo, who wasn't his usual self, and Channel Surfer also, but that was getting home strongly.
Yeah, I'm happy to forgive Udurzo, first of all. Let's touch on that runner. He's out wide here in the Celt green and red colours. He finishes 9th. He's beaten 4.5 lengths. You've got Channel Surfer, who actually finishes in front of him and finishes into that 6th spot. Look, he just sits in a better place at the weights, doesn't he, this time round? With the claim of Rehan, he carried 59 kilos that day. He's going to carry 51 tomorrow. So it's going to be a better prospect for him with the down in the weights. And that run there was over 1,600 metres. We know that the horse has won over this distance, was very good only a couple of starts ago in the Easter Handicap when down in the weights at 53 and hit the line into 4th spot. So, look, maybe just bogged down with that weight that he did have there and that opportunity of turning it around and getting down to 51 kilos. So I'm happy to play the forgive card on him. And Channel Surfer, Look, he was okay. He was getting through the line into sixth position. He was working home, doing its best, only a length and a half off Cannon Hill, and actually drops another couple of kilos off that run. So I'm happy to follow both of their performances out of that, but maybe leading a little bit more towards Uderzo.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, Uderzo threatened to win a race such as this. I would have thought it relatively short notice. I want to have a look. Well, we call him the Southern Raider now, perhaps, in Harlech. For Pam Gerard here, this is him running second over 2,000 metres at Riccarton in the Gold Cup last time out, but I think he gets the claim from that big top weight as well, Paul, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Look, that was a super run here in the Canterbury Gold Cup. Second in behind, I think it was Riviera Rebel, who just hugged the rail. Super ride by Kylie Williams on Riviera Rebel that day, cut in the corner, and just having enough in the tank to outlast Harlech. Look, he's done this before. Last year, he ran second in the Gold Cup, and then next start won over the mile. So this is a road that Pam Gerard and the team have travelled over before. Hayley Hasman, as you say, 4 kilos off, so down to 58 kilos. That's super for Harlech. And look, I give him a big chance here.
Yeah, the best Harlech would be competitive, you'd think. The next race replay, Steve. I want to have a look at the favourite, and that's Wits End. This is back in the middle of April, so it is a month ago, and we haven't seen him at the races since then. Channel Surfer also competed in this race, but just on Wits End, quite short, $3.30. Tell us why he's around that price.
I think it's down to the map, and I'll explain shortly, but when I came out of this race, from the 800, Fontaine eyeballed Wits End, and from the 600, the pressure really went on in this race, and out of the first three in running, Powell, Fontaine, well back. They failed late, where Wits End had the audacity to box on and finish right in the blanket separation between the first, half a dozen there. So, look, 57 that day, Wits End, he drops to 54. I think McNabb jumping back on is a real positive for this horse. I suppose the knock around Wits End is a strong mile, but I look at the map, and it doesn't look to be an abundance of speed. I reckon Mr. Requette will go forward. Now, if they don't want to lead with Mr. Requette, I wouldn't be opposed to Michael going forward and leading on Wits End and being able to control the tempo in the race. But regardless, he should get a gorgeous run and get every opportunity running out a strong mile, because that is a slight red flag when it comes to the fave.
Yeah, okay. And what about just quickly on Channel Surfer, because it's always a horse that's generally well supported. It's the second time we've seen it before we get to this rating 75. But Channel Surfer?
Barrier 1 is a negative for a horse that has no tactical speed. So I've got a mapping 3-back rail, and he'll just have to come off at some stage and try and find the right part of the track. But he's running some really strong sectionals, but he's getting himself in an ugly spot at the 400 and having to chase, and mathematically mission impossible when he meets Wits End 1 kilogram worse off.
Just having a look at the rating 75 here, BP, where a number of combatants come out of it. Lama Squeeter, Afina, and also Mr. Roquette, who we've mentioned already. Do we give these rating 75 runners any chance in the open mile here?
I do wonder if some of them are looking for, wetter conditions. So they've obviously got through some testing ground there, a heavy 10 out of Rotorua. Maybe they're just looking for that track to be sort of in that 7-8 zone, where the weather leading up to tomorrow isn't going to provide that. But, Lama Squeeter looks like a horse that can get through ground. She showed that when she cut the corner and won out of Muddamudda. Mr. Roquette was a runner that's done exactly the same as well. Better performances have been on the heavy surfaces and along with Afina. So that would be just the only thing I'd be a little bit worried about there with those horses. But do respect them when they get into that right ground. I keep coming back to Uderzo. I do like the horse on the weekend with the weight relief. Rehan's riding really well. He's a jockey that's in great form at the moment, and he's utilising his 3 kilo claim, and trainers have identified him as one of those jockeys that can put your horse in the race, and he's riding with good sky-high confidence. So, yeah, happy to run with Uderzo back to a grade where there's not that weight on the back like there was last time to weigh him down. So I'm running with him as a bet.
Okay, BP with Uderzo. I see your bet flash across the screen, Paul, and we were just talking about Lama Squeeter, and gee, there has been some money for it.
There has, and look, I like Uderzo as well. I'm just concerned about the lack of early support on Alonso Sullivan, Andrew Scott runner. So I do like Uderzo, just that lack of money coming early on just has me slightly, I guess, concerned.
Well, maybe that is to do with the map. If Steve's saying it's a bit slight, there's no genuine leader potentially, and if Uderzo potentially mapped to get back a little bit, that might be a concern.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I've gone outside the top three, and I'm going with La Mosquita at around the $7 mark. I can see that we've already had a bit of action on La Mosquita.
We have.
Tristan Moodley gets a kilo claim down to 53. I thought that was a nice run last time out. One fresh up. This is, all pointing in the right direction for mine.
Yeah, 12 into 7 for La Mosquita, so a good push early. Steve, your final thoughts, betting strategy?
Yeah, just on Uderzo, last two starts, he's confronted a 13-horse field and a 16-horse field, and he's drawn wide gates.
Yep.
Here, smallish field, barrier 5, as BP alluded, 59 kilograms last start. Overall, I thought he was playing regardless of the weight,
Yep.
but he does drop back to 51 kilograms. If Rehan can find that neutral spot from a decent draw in a race that probably isn't going to show too much heat in the first furlong or two, I think that will give Uderzo's best opportunity if he can find that neutral spot, Rehan.
Yep.
But look, I've made my bet wits end. Again, just down to the map, I reckon you can tick the mile in this particular race and how it's going to unfold. I reckon Michael can control the tempo sitting second outer on Mr. Riquette's right shoulder and give every opportunity to run out a strong 1,600 metres. I'm not sure he'll lead. They've decided just in recent runs and trials, he's had a trial on the interim wits end, just to take a sit off the speed, where early days he won when leading. But I think, for a jockey to control the tempo, your best chance is sitting outside the lead, and that will give every opportunity for Wits End and Michael McNabb.
Okay, a tricky race, the KPMG mile, with the boys coming up with a different horse each to win the race this year.
Hey, I got a lot of faith in you. I'll stick with you, kid, that's about
Hunt O'Sullivan Award time for another week, BP, as the jockeys around New Zealand clamour around their TV sets and computer screens. Who got the LAO award this week?
Yeah, a jockey that's riding with sky-high confidence with the weight relief through this time is so important, as we've mentioned there with Rehan, and the same can be said with Amber Riddell. A very, very confident rider at present is Amber. She was able to get a double on the weekend out of Trentham, and she's currently sitting on career wins of 39. 35 of those have been this season, so she is ticking the boxes, and that weight claim's obviously going to come down very soon as she keeps picking up the victories. And this was the win that we spoke about earlier with Spencer as well, delivering the goods on a high-class galloper. But yeah, she is a jockey that's putting her horses in the race. She's given them every opportunity, and yeah, I think she really does deserve it, and one of those jockeys to continue to follow, not just for this winter period. Moving into the spring, she keeps riding winners. She's going to be confident as we move into those spring and summer months. So yeah, well done to Amber. She's riding well.
Still A3, isn't she, Amber? Paul?
Yeah.
Amber on Amber? Yeah.
And I think the Lance O'Sullivan Award is held in higher prestige than the Eurovision Song Contest. So I think that goes to show just how good and how, I guess, how much the jockeys really, really want to pick it up. So BP holds a lot of power in his hands.
Oh, he does. Yeah, well, he gets plenty on track though if he doesn't give the right award. I know
exactly.
that. Should be a chance of raising the bat. BP for 50 with a couple of months to go, potentially, Amber.
Absolutely. And with the rides that she has coming up over the weekend, there's a high chance there's a few more to add as well. So, she comes from great stock, does Amber Riddell. So let's keep that confidence going through this period, and there's no reason why she won't pick up that 50 very shortly.
Yeah, good luck to Amber Riddell. She's going particularly well at the moment. The Lance O'Sullivan Award winner this week, race number 8 on the card at Te Rapa, is the Jarvis Trading 1,100 metres, Steve. Run us through this market. I think we might have had a bit of a key scratching here.
Yeah, Twain came out this morning, Thaddeus. Just blood not quite right. He'll keep. He's a very progressive winter sprinter, is Twain. But Pakuta Gold heads the market now, $3.30, in front of Aloysius at $3.90. Shoes, the obvious leader at 4.2. Caitlin's Wish resumes here. The Orchard Barn, $7.50. Illicit Dreams, 8.5. Martau at $9, and then best of the rest is Gaspotin at $14. I should mention Solidify, classy 3-year-old / 2-year-old in his time, resumes here for the Rogerson cap at 21, but Pakuta Gold heads the market. No strong lead at this stage.
Yeah, okay, BP, let's start with the favourite in Pukuru Gold, because this was a devastating win, I thought, at Ellerslie last time out in a rating 75.
Really good. Just quickly before I touch on this, just on Twain as well, spoke to John Bell last night, and he just said that the horse came off the track and he just didn't feel like it was the horse was 100 and ready to go. So it was a gut feeling from JB as well, and he did say that the horse will go to the trials on Tuesday, and then they'll look at an assessment from there. But there's no rush to be able to get his first run under the belt. And he has some pretty lofty goals coming up for Twain as well, and that means looking towards the spring. So depends on how many runs we see from him before we get to that spring period. Pakuta Gold, very good. That was a strong performance from the horse. Second up, personal best performance from the horse there with how the horse was able to pick up strongly. I think he gets into a good spot here, enjoys this venue. The track conditions should be in the ideal spot. The ticks are in the right boxes to say this horse can back up that victory.
Yeah, no doubt. That was quite impressive on the eye. I did think around Pukuru Gold. Let's have a look at Velocious, the second favourite in the race, Paul. What do we do with her?
Well,
what do we do with her here? She was running 5th at Ellerslie last time out.
That's the big question, Thad. What do we do with her? Look, if she could sort out her manners a wee bit, certainly at the start, then I think that win column would look even more impressive than it does at the moment. Look, she just bombed the start here. She did a similar thing the start before this as well. Look, she finishes off nicely. She's stretching out, but she lost the race out of the gate. So what sort of Velocious are we going to see this Saturday? That's the big question. Look, she's in around $3.90 at the moment. I don't know. Do we go one more time? Do we? It's really, really difficult to decide here.
Has she always been like that out of the barriers, Steve? Or is this a new
Probably
thing?
not as obvious as a juvenile. I think she took a pretty good spot in the Karaka Million from memory.
She did. Just get J-Mac over. Easy.
Tad busy currently in Brisbane, but yeah, she's an interesting one, Velocious. I've laid her last 2 starts, happy to admit it here.
Yeah.
That was not through hindsight. We mentioned that leading into the Cambridge Breeders a few weeks ago. And that is down to her tactical speed or lack of it. The barrier blanket is added this time round. I think the biggest positive for Velocious is Michael McNabb. If there's one jockey that's going to hunt the horse out of the gates and put it more of a, land it more of a neutral spot, it is going to be Michael. So he'll be aware of the situation once the horse gets into the barriers. When they say go, he'll be ready to go, McNabb, to squeeze the horse out. But it's whether the horse can respond. But I don't think she deserves to be as short as she is.
Yeah, okay. Interesting runner is Velocious, no doubt. I want to have a look at the open handicap at Te Rapa next, BP, which features, Steve, we'll come to you, Shoes, who almost pinched it here and got beaten by what might be a pretty smart one here. Obviously, Illicit Dreams is also in this race and finishes 4th, but the speedy Shoes almost got it.
She did. What you didn't see prior to the turn is that she eventually got to the 600 metres. She has to use a little bit of petrol in the first half of the race. But as you see, the mare by Darren, she set up an even tempo graphically. In a race that was on-speed dominated, the top 4, the first 4 around the turn, with the first 4 home. Slightly different order, obviously. I think 1,100 metres, slightly back in trip suits. Look, she is the likely leader once again, but there is going to be pressure from Illicit Dreams, which we saw was a race rival there. And Caitlin's Wish, who resumes, will notably be a go-forward type as well. But look, I think she'll eventually find the lead, and 1,100 metres does suit.
You don't mind Shoes, Paulie? Do you want to have a quick word on Shoes? Because, as I say, it's speedy. You know where it's going to be.
Exactly. And I look back to late last year in November where Shoes won at Tauranga. The runners that finished 2nd, 3rd and 4th all became subsequent winners. And Francie finished further down the field and, of course, come out and won the Rangatike Gold Cup last weekend. So, and I was encouraged by that run last time out. And I think, I agree with Steve, the 1,100 bang.
Yeah, perfect.
Yes.
BP will come back to you. If we missed, Caitlin's Wish must be given some sort of chance first up. It's a good winter galloper. Good spot on your old buddies there. Illicit Dreams we just had a look at. But what's the strategy and who have we missed here?
Yeah, Gospodin's interesting. He's had 2 exhibition gallops to get himself ready. So you might look at the book and think, we haven't seen him since November and no public trials. So he's had 2 exhibition gallops, have been 2 good strong hit-outs from him. Rehan's going to help to get back to 57 kilograms. He's a class horse. He's a very good horse. So be interested to see how he can perform first up. I think the smaller field will help Velocious. Like there's 8 runners here. Yes, it's down to McNabb making sure that she can jump cleanly, but there should be enough speed in this race. This is a 1,100 metre race with a couple of horses that like to go forward here. If she can track decent speed and she's not that far off them, she can still run a race. I'm with Pukuru Gold running number 7, but I do like that same race multi with a leader in shoes to finish in the top 4. Playing around Pukuru Gold to run top 2 and Velocious as well to finish top 3. I'm looking towards that combination of something that's up front and a couple of closers on that front runner is my play in the race.
Yeah, okay, BP with the same race multi. Don't mind the tactics there. Are you with shoes, Paul, as your bet? What's your strategy in the race?
Yeah, that's where I'm going. I'm going to go with shoes to win. I can see we've already taken a bit of action on shoes. Obviously, there's been a wee bit of a deduction due to the scratching of Twain, but yeah, I just like the way that Shoes comes into this race, and the 1100 will be ideal.
Well, yeah, exactly. If it was 1200, I would think maybe something could get over it, but just might pinch at Shoes at 1100.
Go on, Kelly, you can do it.
Steve, final thoughts here. Race number 8.
Kudu Gold, I thought it was outstanding win at Ellerslie last start.
Impressive,
Over
wasn't it?
1,100 metres, got back, hit the line powerfully. It was a very dominant win, and that was reflected by a strong speed rating for Kudu Gold. Drawn barrier force, Vinny Wave options, just to stalk that hot speed, which we've already touched on. I thought he was clearly the horse to beat. If there's one horse to knock him over, it is Shoes. He's going to be in the right spot. She's going to be in the right spot, Shoes, to lead up. And she will be hard to catch over 1,100 metres. But I just reckon if Kudu Gold is within 2 or 3 lengths at the top of the straight, he'll grab him late. I'll grab her late. So, and Velocious second fave, I marked a clearly third fave, and a big margin away from Pukuru Gold and Shoes. So there's just no value in her current price at 370.
You're going again to lay at that price.
Well, look, she can
Velocious.
win. But
Yeah.
the probability, I don't have her as short as 370. I had her closer to a 12% chance. So, that's just me. Until I see otherwise, around her getting that start, that vital start, I'll reassess. But I will say Michael McNabb is a big positive if you want to stick with the ship.
$7.50 you want.
Yeah, I reckon she probably deserves to be $7.50 against
Okay.
Pukuru Gold and Shoes. Like, Shoes just going to be in the right position, and Pukuru Gold was super.
Yeah, you've jumped off Velocious, so don't you start.
Yeah, it's probably the right time to get back on then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Okay, interesting race number 8 on the card there at Te Rapa on Saturday. Right, it's time to take a pop at Pops, where we take one customer's $100 betting strategy, put it up against one Brendan Popplewell BP. You can tell us about how you got on last weekend in a minute. This week, the viewer is Sean Blackburn. He's keeping it nice and simple. Don't mind that. He's with you, Paul and Harlech. Race number 6 at Te Rapa. He's gone Pukana. He said he's following the money, and there has been a stack for it on Pukana into $7.50, $25 there. He's gone race number 2 at New Plymouth, Love of My Life at around 9.5. And here's the same race multi. He's gone to the Doomben. It's the Doomben Cup, I believe, and it's Pride of Jenny to win, and Tino and Faulkner Park to finish in the top 4. That's Sean Blackburn, BP. I think you had a win last week. Can you back it up?
No, I didn't have a win.
nil or
Both of us
draw.
didn't win.
Oh, nil all.
Yeah, nil all
Sorry.
draw. Yeah.
So a bit of a push.
Yeah.
So let's go for this week. And what have I gone for this week? I've gone for a couple of win bets, and I've had a look at Sunday as well. So Ned win in race 4 at Te Rapa in the steeplechase. The Great Northern Hurdles winner having his first start over the bigger fences, where he won a Great Northern Hurdles on a good track at Te Rapa. $30 to win on that runner. Same race multi. This is a little same race multi flip. So we're going race 2, and we're taking the 2 Group 1 jockeys, Chad Ormsby and also Troy Harris. So Chad's on Poetic Justice, top 2. Troy's on Jamaican Boy, who blitzed them at Woodville last time out, top 2, top 3. And then played against Sam and flip it around and go Jamaican Boy, top 2, and Poetic Justice, top 3. Sir Fergus, $30 to win in race number 7, the same race as Smooze. A first starter by Ard Rosson out of one of my old favourites in Under the Moonlight, who trialled very nicely at Ellerslie.
Okay, Sir Fergus.
Sir Fergus, that's a name a bit for you, surely,
Gotta be.
Thad.
Named
Crikey.
after my young son, Fergus. Maybe I should be on. Good luck to Sean Blackburn this week as he takes a pop at Pop, see if he can keep a bit of that money that he's invested with his $100 betting strategy. The Leg Up People's Boost this week, team. You'll be pleased about this, Steve. That is going to be Pukuru Gold. Race number 8 at Te Rapa.
Nice.
Keep an eye out for that under the Futures tab. If you think Stephen Hunt's bet in the race can win, you can have an inflated price with the Leg Up People's Boost under that Futures tab. You'll find it after 11 a.m. On Friday morning. Okay, time to get to New Plymouth. That's the other venue we want to have a look at, Steve, and let's start with weather and track. Oh, beautiful.
Currently a heavy 8 NP. And look, the rail's out 4.5 metres. Often throughout the winter, New Plymouth, regardless of the rail, can be advantageous for horses on speed. I suppose the argument was the one meeting that was held in May last year at New Plymouth where backmarkers had very much an opportunity in field day. So, but in general, when it's rain affected, there's some fast lanes close to the rail, in particular early stages of the meeting. So that's how I'll be mapping it in terms of my form, unless I see differently throughout the day. But yeah, again, no rain forecasted to the back end of Saturday, so hopefully we may see it upgrade from their current heavy 8.
Okay, let's start with race number 4 on the card. It's the Brand Lab 2000. Thought this was quite a nice field and quite an interesting field, Steve.
It is, headed by Boomtown Boy at 380. In front of Privy Garden was an impressive last start winner, Ottawa Park at 460. Gentian Blue at $6, Diamond Jack at 7, Tavian also on that fourth line at 7. A Belladonna Lily, who was a little bit stiff at Trentham last start, back on its home track at 9.50. DB Balfour also at 9.5. Again, a very compressed market. And Rua Rocks hanging out there at double figures at 10 is best to the rest. And Hula Beat. Look, there was a bit of speaking for this individual last start at Rotorua at $19. Currently a break-even result for the tab. But Boomtown Boy hits the market at 3.8 in a very competitive field.
Yeah, it is. It's an interesting field with a few angles here, BP, but I want to start in the Foxton Cup. This is Boomtown Boy, the current favourite, finishing 3rd.
Yeah, he loves to run a placing. He's 10 times placed, and Amber Riddell takes the ride on the weekend and brings it back to 53.5 kilograms. I think the weight relief for some horses here is going to be a massive assistance to compared to those two at the top, that are carrying 60 and 57.5. So beware of the weight claim. It could be the one way to read this race, and that will help his chances. Look, he runs a good, honest race, doesn't he? That's the Foxton Cup. Second horse in that race is a very good jumper and never looked back. Yeah, he's finished into 3rd spot. So, look, he'll run well. He'll get through the conditions. Amber will give it a good steer. Has to be somewhere in your combinations. And, yeah, in a tidy race, as you said, Thad. Yeah,
no doubt. And, yeah, look, it was up on speed there. And I see they went along at a pretty breakneck tempo there in the Foxton Cup. So probably did quite well to box on. Let's look at a progressive mare here, Paul, next. It's Privy Garden. A winner of 2 of its last 4, but they certainly got the chocolates last time out at Ottawa Park.
Yeah, and one of the things I really like about Privy Garden is her toughness. And we really got to see her display that here at Ottawa Park. She had every right to give up over that last 150 metres. I think that's Bow Hill on the inside, who just gave her the battle of her life. But she dug deep, refused to lose. Got the chocolates, as you say, in the end. She probably gets a track that should suit her, that sort of puggy type track with the forecast that we've got at New Plymouth. And although she's stepping up in grade, well, look, her toughness will get her through, I think. So Privy Garden, I think, she looks very, very good.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it brings another angle just up from the 75 into this. And the way it won last time and the amount of money that was on, you have to give Privy Garden a big chance in the race. Steve, the next race I want to have a look at is at New Plymouth. It's Rua Rocks winning, if we can see them. Yeah, hang on. And Belladonna Lily's 2nd and Tavian was 3rd, but you'd think Rua Rocks will be a pace influence in the race 2nd up.
I think I found one here. That is Rua Rocks. This race was back all the way back on the 5th of December on this course, albeit this was 1,400 metres. We're talking 1.25 miles on Saturday, but he did beat home race rivals in Belladonna Lily, Tavian, and notably Bridal Train finished into 4th placing there. Went on to win its, I think, a couple starts later, and notably was 4th in a Giro Cup. So some strong form reference coming out of that race. I know you've got to go back a few months to identify that form and how it relates to Saturday, but he was second up that day, Rua Rocks. He finds himself second up on Saturday after having one run at Ottawa Park, where he was facing the breeze 3 wide. Now, it's a big ask, 16 straight up to 2,000 metres on and off track to perform, but I reckon that taxing run last start at Ottawa Park will get him up to the mark to be more than competitive. He looks the obvious leader, doesn't look too many challenges in terms of the pace for the first half of the race. The claim down to 54 kilograms of Ali Sol doing the riding. I thought he was a really good bet. I think he was dangling at $13, $14 earlier in the week. He's now been trimmed into 10. He's a perfect 1x3 play.
Odd surge.
No, this is the odd surge at New Plymouth, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we can probably still get 12 or 13.
We can get 12 at the moment as we speak.
Oh, very good.
Yep.
Okay, geez, Steve, my interest has been piqued around Rua Rocks. BP, another race replay I do want to have a look at, though, and a horse that just been teasing us a little bit, Gentian Blue. Now, this is the 5th last time out. I know you were on. It's been threatening to win a race since it's come back from Australia and just hasn't quite done it, has it?
No, she hasn't, and she just got in a really awkward spot in this race. Like, she drew barrier number 2, and she just got back, and it was messy. It was real messy race, and she's done well here to hit the line. Now, I will say this: she's also down to run at Ellerslie in a 6-horse field, which could also be a decent spot for her. I do wonder about her on a wet track, and they're not going to get a wet track on Sunday at Ellerslie, so they've got jockeys for both races. I don't know which way they're heading at this stage, but the Ellerslie option could be a nice one for her as well. But wherever she runs, if it's this race or that race, she's a chance. But yeah, I just question when she gets into that track that's sort of beyond a 7 for her, and that's where we're sitting at the moment. It's sitting at an 8, where Ellerslie's a soft 5. My bet's the same as Stephen's. Look, I really do like Rua Rocks. I think this horse, second up, that win that we showed you was second up. It was at New Plymouth. $12 odd surge. Yes, please.
Crikey, this is starting to shape up very nicely. Do we need to come to you, Steve? That's the bet, Rua Rocks?
Well, I think it is. Like I say, I think he gets his own way in front. And I think Ali, the right way to ride him would be taking off at the 600, like he did over 7 furlongs. I know 2,000 metres is slightly different, but I might have mentioned Ottawa Park was his last. I was actually out of Te Rapa, but he was still caught 3-4 wide for the majority. And he didn't give in, even though it was a distance short of his best. But I reckon that was the perfect run to set him up, going from 16 straight up to 2,000 metres. So, as I said earlier, he's a nice each way play.
Okay, still $10, 12 on the odd surge. Paul, have you got something different for us in the race?
I was going to go Gentian
Yeah,
Gentian Blue.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah, well, I was going to go with her because I agree with BP. She's found bad luck her last few starts. So, but she has looked very, very good. But if she's not going to be turning up at New Plymouth, I will certainly be looking at her at Ellerslie on Sunday. So if she does run on Saturday, I'm happy to have a little go on Gentian Blue.
Okay, Paul with Gentian Blue, but I think we might have found one in the 2,000 metre brand lab. Rua Rocks looks to be the 1x3 play in the race. Foreplay time for another week. We take a $100 bonus cash multi. We put it on for you. Head to the TAB Facebook page, interact with the lead-up question. This week, your favourite Doomben Cup winner. Your favourite Doomben Cup winner for your chance to win the Foreplay bet this week. It's a good, difficult time of year to get 4-leg multis home. I'm going to keep making excuses for us, BP, but I think this week's our week. Kick us off.
Well, the question's easy. You just rough habit and you move on. Wow. All-time favourite, Ruffy. New Plymouth, and hey, we're at New Plymouth, the home of Rough Habit. Albarossa, top 3, $1.45 with Bruno aboard. Very good run last time out, and it will be hard to beat overall, but we'll go top 3.
Okay, Paulie.
I'm going to head to Te Rapa. Sorry, I sent the incorrect information through to our team in the studio. It's actually race 8 at Te Rapa. and I'm taking Shoes to finish top 3 at $1.60.
You're a bit confused with your meetings all day this morning, weren't you? You didn't know where Ellerslie was in Te Rapa. And...
Story of my life, evidently.
Steve.
New Plymouth race for Rua Rocks, just what we've spoken about in the last 5 minutes. Top 4 at $2.05.
Okay, and I've gone to Te Rapa race 7. Joshua Brown, very good last time out. Improving, and we'll run another good race there in race number 7 at Te Rapa. Top 4 at $1.65. Nice return. That Foreplay multi could return you $761. Head to that
I reckon it's a good Foreplay this week.
I like that. I needed a bit of confidence around
Looking at the horses there, yeah, I'm confident. Get involved.
Okay, very good. I like the seal of approval. I think we're home in this week's Foreplay. Head to the TAB Facebook page for your chance to get involved. Okay, race number 7, Steve, is the next one we want to have a look at. It's the Seaton Park 1400. Run us through this market.
Headed by Old Town Road, who won first up for Lisa Ladder at $5. Ideal, the local at $6.50. Got a short of 6, just back out to the original price, 6.5. Marlborough Bay in that second line, equal at 6.5. Tobias, just a tipple, 7.50 each of 2. Wild West at $8. Soldier Boy, here we go, 18 into $8.50.
Has it trialled since? Because it had to trial, didn't it, Soldier Boy?
Good question.
Yeah, well, it has to. The answer is it must have.
Either it would have had to do some sort of exhibition gallop in front of the stewards. And then best of the rest, we're looking at Gaza at $10. So very compressed market. Their rank outsider is number 3 in make time at $12. So yeah, even go.
Yeah, very even go. $12 outsider. We wouldn't have to watch the replay of Soldier Boy's last run. Wouldn't take long.
No, it wouldn't.
Let's go to Old Town Road, resuming BP, the favourite. Good, honest winter galloper. And this is at first up at Harwood. Make time was 8th.
Yeah, he's a beaut. He really is. Second up, there's no issue for him. And look, he went around at $15. Amber cut the corner and got the job done here at Harwood. She takes the ride again, so that's crucial weight relief to bring it back to 56.5 kilos. With all that in front of him, he will be hard to beat. He will get track conditions that'll be suitable for him. He's just had the one start around New Plymouth where he finished into 5th position out of 13 over 1,400 metres. So look, you can dig a little bit into that with his one and only run, but he's just a good, honest winter galloper, and he has to be in your numbers somewhere.
Yeah, he does. As you say, the Amber Adele again, there she is again with the 3 kgs, which is going to be crucial for the chances of Old Town Road again. What about Ideal? Here's a bit of a combination to be wary of. Paulie, this is Ideal winning a rating 75 at New Plymouth, but first up tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. And it was a wonderful ride by Craig Grills 2 starts back at New Plymouth. It got her to settle very, very nicely, then made a move to go forward at exactly the right time. Add to that, Alan Sharrock had her super fit, and she needed to be, to actually just hold off the challenges here. But yeah, did enough to win. Looked really, really good doing it. Her last 2 wins have been on heavy tracks, and with the fine forecast, I'm not quite sure what sort of track we're going to, so it's a wee bit of a sort of a wait and see game, but off that run, yeah, I'll give her a big chance.
They stretched her out over ground, Steve, Ideal, last preparation up to the 2100. Obviously, she's bred in the purple. 1,400 metres tomorrow. Is that suit, or what's your feeling on Ideal?
I wouldn't be getting in her mind first up, and the lack of money is a little bit concerning over a punting stable, especially on its home track. So, yeah, I'd be personally just seeing what the horse does tomorrow for the future. I'm sure Alan will be wanting to chase some black type for the 7-year-old mare who, as you say, is bred in the purple. So, yeah, look, I'd be looking at her at possibly 1,600, no lower, and 1.25 miles might be a sweet spot this time in.
Okay. What about the rating 75 from Waverley? There's a few that come out of this. Marlborough Bay is one of them. Marlborough Bay, Gaz is the other, and then Soldier Boy. This is the 5th, the resuming 5th before we see the P in the form line.
Yeah, very testing track conditions this day. I think this was the second half of the program, the way this race was panned out, but well, King of Hearts put a space job on them, put up a really good number. Marlborough Bay was running into second here. You've got Gaza and also Soldier Boy running into the top 4 or 5 there in a smallish field. Interesting enough, all those 3 runners there have had a subsequent run. Marlborough Bay went to Te Rapa and just found the track too sharp. I think this horse, the deeper the better. So the improving track is a slight red flag for Marlborough Bay. And Soldier Boy, look, it hasn't gone down as an official trial, but like I say earlier on, would have had to
Did have
some
to do
sort of
something,
exhibition
didn't it?
gallop in front of the steward's eyes prior to accepting for Saturday's race. So, yeah, look, Marlborough Bay, just that slight concern with the improving track. Soft form's not too bad, but its peaks have been on the genuine heavy.
Yeah, what about that money for Soldier Boy? Because we saw money for it at Trentham,
Trentham,
last
yeah.
time out as well. It was around 14 into around 9. And then this time again, they've gone early, so they obviously think the horse is well.
Yeah, 100%. I think I know BP was pretty keen at Trentham prior to the race, and notably that it was a little bit long in the market, and the market responded and firmed on race day. So, yeah, there's something there building around Soldier Boy, and he will like the improving track. There's no doubt about that. So, yeah, he's definitely one horse to respect in an even go.
Okay, well, chances don't end there, BP, do they? I mean, Tobias resumes. We know how good he is at this time of year. Make times there. Wild West was a good winner at Te Rapa last time out, so not an easy race and a very even race.
No, you're right. I actually think Marlborough Bay's a chance as well, with 2 kilos coming off, and we saw that run there from 2 starts ago. It can get through these type of conditions that's going to be confronting Marlborough Bay. So maybe a little forgive on what the horse did last time out behind Force of Nature out of Te Rapa. Look, quick little story for you around Soldier Boy. As you said, yes, I had something on it last time out. Was pretty keen on the big price. I got to the TV because I was working wherever we were. I think it was Te Rapa, and I missed the first 150 metres of the race. Didn't have any sound. So I get there, right, oh, this is Soldier Boy's race. Beautiful. Where is it? Okay, is that last? No. El Salida? No. Oh, it's still in the gates. Awesome. So yeah, it was a real tough one. Like there's lots of ways of losing money, and that was one of them there that we saw with Soldier Boy, where I didn't even see it, missed the start. So yeah, it was a disaster zone. But let's go again on Soldier Boy. Let's have some on the surge. Sits at $10. I'll be making sure I see the start, so if I do lose my money, I know what's happening. So I'm going to go again on Soldier Boy with Bruno aboard.
Yeah, it didn't get picked up on the call, BP, did it? That was so you were a bit in the dark until quite a bit later. So if you got it on 100 metres after the start, it wasn't mentioned for quite some time that Soldier Boy wasn't in it. So yeah, I can see how that was a touch confusing for you, but staying loyal. I like that about you. What about you, Paulie? What's your betting strategy in the race?
I'm going to go with Tobias here.
Yeah.
I don't mind him fresh up. Look, I think he'll be ready to go. Tony Dravitsky will have ready to go. Craig Grill's aboard, so I think he'll get a ride.
Yeah, he will.
And look, he won't mind the track, I don't think. Even if it's a wee bit puggy, I think it'll be just right up his alley too. So Tobias for mine at around 750.
He won them in a row last prep, didn't he? Yeah,
he did.
Provincial as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a really good preparation for Tobias. So I'm sure they're expecting big things for the coming winter season around that run of Tobias. And did I just see on the bottom of the screen
Oh, jeez.
the infamous betting strategy of no bet?
I'll tell you what, we may have mentioned Sweeney at the beginning of this show. I get the feeling the form are going to mention someone on this show.
Yeah, what about, tell us about it, Steve.
Just keep your powder dry and back races that you're more confident about. There's 3 first up runners here which cloud the race. There's horses with the enigma of Old Town Road, who surprising one on a soft track, but can he go back-to-back on an improving track where all his best ratings are on genuine heavy 9, heavy 10? So that adds confusion. Soldier Boy, what does he do? How do you rate that performance out of Trentham and whatnot? So no, just for me, it's a murky race, and I'm happy to let it through to the keeper.
I can almost hear the sound of the keyboard hammering up there around Hamilton with Aidan Rodley. Just firing up the Slack channels and the text messages and the like. So no bet for Stephen Hunt in that race.
Leave it.
Yeah, leaving it outside off stump. Okay, we've got to the best bet time for another week, but before we look forward, sadly, we have to look back.
I like GTM Blue out of Ellerslie, Thad. It's in race number 8.
King of the North is out wide and getting home strongly. King of the North, the Game of Thrones fans gets home to win from a photo. Prochella and No Plan B, Quick Fire, Gentian Blue.
I'm going to head to Trentham, the very first race of the day, and I love the look of number 5, Canasta.
Fighting back on the inside, Costa then thrilling. Coulthard the head in front. He's going to be a little bit too good in the first. Coulthard won in 102nd, Canasta Costa.
I'll double up on Anna Furlong. In race 4, the open 1200 metres, Penbo's Lad.
Spencer hit the lead, the Jockey. He's in front. He's a beauty. He's all racehorse. What a brilliant return, Spencer. Too good. Beat Veritable. Third over the Stony one, followed by Bow Bell, Penbo's Lad.
I've gone to race 9 at Ellerslie, the rating 65 mile, and I'm going for a horse to go back-to-back in the form of Windrush.
Out wide, Arundel Castle, and Lorado from last on the outside fence. Lorado beats Arundel Castle, close third between Amar James Flight, Alarish, Family Folks, Jack Crab, Tarzador, then followed Perugia, Crew Class, Windrush.
Brock, did your one stay on the gates as well?
That was one of the best tents you've ever seen from Windrush. No, it had every chance, every possible chance. Just shuffled up at the 600. Here, I'm looking for excuses, BP. Gentian Blue is your one. What about the performance of King of the North in that race?
Yeah, it was enormous, wasn't it? Moodley, both of those races with Lorado and King of the North. I mean, King of the North was slow away, was well at the back, and look, he just swooped and went straight past them. So, yeah, huge performance from King of the North. It really was a wow moment there. I guess the best thing about those that little package there is that Bruce was certainly adding to his greatest hits with some of those calls there from 1B Sherwin, that is for sure. Right, let's get into it. Best bet for this week. I'm going for a jumper. I'm going to the steeplechase race at Te Rapa in Ned Wynn. He lines up in a steeplechase race for the very first time. He is a high-class hurdler. We all know that. He won the Great Northern Hurdles at Te Rapa on a soft 5. He'll get track conditions that will be very similar to that. High-class horse, happy to run with him. He had a good run last week against who knows. Ned Wynn is my best bet.
But BP's got a strike rate of 50% and he lost last week. So we know what we're doing with Ned Wynn this week. What about you, Paul?
I'm going to head to Sunday, Ellerslie, and the final race of the day at Ellerslie, race 8. I love the look of the Cody Coltrane, part-time lover. I can just hear Stevie Wonder now. Look, that was a very, very nice first up 6. Take a whole heap of improvement out of that, and I think she'll get a track to suit at Ellerslie, so part-time lover at around 550 as we speak.
Not quite the strike rate of Brendan Popplewell. It's Thad Taylor-esque, that strike rate.
I'll tell you what, people in glass houses.
Oh, exactly. That's why I backed it off quick. Steve?
Te Rapa, race 8, the open 1100 metres, Kudu Gold, current fave. He was second up this day at Ellerslie. The visual was backed up on the clock, a nice strong speed rating. He goes back to Te Rapa, left-handed, no knock. I reckon he can just find that neutral spot with Vinnie Colgan doing the riding here off a really strong tempo and find that slipstream. If he can position one off the rail and find that middle part of the straight, he's going to be awfully hard to beat. Shoe's biggest danger, but I reckon Pukuta Gold gets him over the line.
And it's the People's Boost.
Very good. Exactly. That is the leg up People's Boost. It'll be available after 11 a.m. So if you want to get on Stephen Hunt's best bet of the weekend, there looks to be 2 people to follow. One of them's Brendan Popplewell, one of them's Stephen Hunt. Here's Thad Taylor's best bet of the weekend. Live on air, Danica Guy treks down to New Plymouth. We've already seen some money for it, $7 into $5, and brings out Astoria Brook form line, which I do like from Te Rapa. I ran third behind Astoria Brook and Monday Melody, and Astoria Brook has gone on to win again last Sunday when it was the Sunday Sweet as well. So it's all lining up, which means finally I should get a win with Live on air, my best of the weekend. So there's the best bets of the weekend. Here's your moment, Paul. This is your big moment in the show.
Oh, no. What? Promotions?
This is what you paid for. Promo time.
Okay, well, let's go and have a look at the bonus cash, the bonus back and bonus cash. And we head to Ellerslie and, Te Rapa. We go to Te Rapa and Doomben. Selected races there. Back to second and third. Bonus back and bonus cash. Of course, it's Doomben Cup Day, and I think the Roses are on as well. Where next? Odds Surge at New Plymouth. That's right, Thad. Every single race at Saturday, this Saturday at New Plymouth will be an Odds Surge race. Maximum bet $100. What's next,
Finish
Thad?
strong.
Yeah, we've got the Sunday Sweep. Sunday, it's at Ellerslie, race 7, number 1, Schmuse. The code is TLU Fizz. Just enter the code and then place a fixed odds win bet through your TAB app. And if he finishes 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, or 6th, get your money back up to $20 as bonus cash. First 200 customers, 1 bet per account. Boom.
Yeah, very good. Oh, good effort. You know, I'm not the hardest person to wind up. So if you get that, I know why Paul's just putting a little needle in for me around the promos. BP, we'll come back to you. Are you pulling double duty Saturday, Sunday, and can the Warriors continue the roll?
Yes to all of those questions, Thad. Yes, so looking forward to the double header and then pushing on towards the Warriors as well on Sunday after the races. Last race, 4:30, beautiful. That means you can roll towards Go Media Mount Smart Stadium and be there for kickoff at 6 o'clock. So, yeah, can't wait for that. Little sports bet for you. Hudson Young was able to provide the treats for us out of Canberra last weekend. So I'm going with a try scorer again. This one in the Cronulla Sharks versus the Roosters game. And I'm going with KL Iro. Has scored in every game that he has played in so far in 2025. Currently sits at $2.15 to score a try against the depleted Roosters. So happy to run with KL Iro. Sharks look like a good team to follow through this origin period. They're not really affected. And they've got the likes of Nico Hines, Adam Fanua-Blake, obviously. So their team stays pretty compact and looks ready to go. So I'll go with KL.
We're going to make this part of the show next season when we come back, a little BP League update, because we get some absolute gems.
It's almost set up perfectly, isn't it? Ellerslie Sunday, on to Go Media Stadium, BP.
Mate, it's the best thing. So yeah, if you're going to the Warriors on Sunday, coming out to Ellerslie, capture the last half, get yourself a quaddie on, come and watch some good racing, and then we'll all roll on and take on the green machine.
Very good. Thank you, BP, for your efforts. We haven't had a chance to touch on Doomben today, but I know Pierre's going round in the last race there at Doomben on Saturday, and out there at a very juicy 20, not even on the first page, $26 for Pierre. That is in race number 9, the BRC Sprint. And we know Pierre at his best would be competitive. Obviously, it's Doomben Cup Day there as well, but you'll see Pierre on that second page. $26 for the Weatherly trained runner, and we know at his best, $13.50 looks perfect, I would have thought. So I thought Pierre would be some sort of chance at a big price in that Doomben race number 9 on Saturday. There is the Doomben Cup on screen. You'll see Antino for Tony Gollan. Know how good Antino is. Pride of Jenny, obviously right in the market. Which Pride of Jenny will we get? Faulkner Park Riding Commission, and I know Sean Blackburn.
Our Poppet Pops,
Yeah, he's got stuck in to a same race multi in Doomben there in the Doomben Cup. So good luck to Sean over the weekend. Thanks, BP, as always, mate. Have a good weekend. I know you will. You've got working both days, but you're used to that sort of carry on. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Paul?
Well, I'll be having a few bets on Saturday. Don't know about Steve, but yeah, I don't mind having a few bets, and that's exactly what I'll do.
Warriors win?
Look, I don't want to...
Oh, be honest.
If I'm going to have a bet...
No bet.
No, I am going to have a bet. I'm going to have a bet on Luke Metcalf to score a try. He is on fire at the moment.
Yeah, sure is. Thank you, Steve. What are your movements? You going to New Plymouth?
New Plymouth with Sweens on Saturday, and if you want to bet for Ellerslie on Sunday before you head up to the Watcher Warriors, Khan Hunter.
Oh, yeah.
Khan Hunter race 3 in the 2-2.
Must be paying all right, is it? Or is it all
It's
right?
about
last time?
$5-6. It'll get the lead. It'll be very hard to run down. It's cherry ripe, ready to go after its run at Ottawa Park.
Oh, you get it all here on the leg up. Thank you, gentlemen, for all your help as always. We will be back next week, and we hope you are too. Thanks for joining us on the leg up. See you in 7 days' time.